Welcome to PeopleTools Tech Tips. I'm Randall Groncki. Today we're going to password protect our PDF reports. If you're still with me, welcome. You must be interested in how you can better secure PeopleSoft BI Publisher PDF reports. And just a note, you can find all the code and examples I use in this video at PeopleToolsTechTips.com and at our GitHub site, PeopleTools Tech Tips. Links are below and on PeopleToolsTechTips.com. I use PeopleTools 8.6.1 to create these examples, but the code should work on PeopleTools versions going back to at least 8.5.9 and possibly earlier. The scope for this video is PDF reports generated with PeopleSoft BI Publisher. This does not cover other output options such as Excel or HTML, nor does it cover the PDF reports generated by SQRs. PeopleSoft protects the sensitive data in our system using a combination of login credentials, navigation security, and row-level security. But what about the reports we produce with that sensitive data? Yes, it requires an authorized user with the correct access to create the report, but what about after the report is delivered to the user? PeopleSoft has a collection of tools to help secure your PDF reports: password protection, document protection, encryption, preventing printing, preventing copying, and others. Let's take a look. Here's our page with super sensitive employee information that also generates a report. I've already created the BI Publisher report and attached it to the print button with PeopleCode. When I click the print button, BI Publisher creates a PDF report with that employee's data and pops it to a new browser tab for the user. Here is all our data, but it's not secure anymore. We can download the document to the file server and anyone can open that document and see the information. No password required. I can also copy the data from this document to the clipboard and paste it into almost anything and send it to anyone. This is not a good way to secure your data. Since this report contains sensitive information, I want to encrypt the document and force the user to enter a password to open the PDF. This is done in the BIP report definition component. Our report definition for this example is X under PT3 under PDF Sec. This is an RTF template report. Go to the Properties tab, change the property group to PDF Security. We see all the different options BI Publisher provides to secure this report. By default, PDF Security is turned off. Change the PDF Security property to True to turn on all other security options. This changes the default to 128-bit encryption and disables copying. The next box is set the open password for this document. I'll just type in test. I'll also change the encryption level to 3 for 256-bit encryption. Save the definition. Going back to the page, I'll rerun the report. The password box immediately opens, forcing me to enter a password before viewing the document. I'll put in a wrong password first, and we see that it stopped me from viewing the document. I'll type in the correct password now, test, and click Open File. And here is our report. This is a very basic way to secure our report. The security we just enabled is embedded in the PDF document, not just the Browser tab. I'll save this document to my local drive. Let's see what happens when I open it from there. The PDF viewer is requiring a password again to view the document. This is totally outside of PeopleSoft. I'll type in the password and here is the same report. Let's take a look at some of the more popular security options PeopleSoft provides for our PDF documents. PDF Security is the master switch to turn on and off document security. PDF Open Password sets the user password to view the document. PDF Permissions password sets the access to the document options behind a password. If the user has this password, they can override all the other security protections of the document. So set it to something different from the open password and something only a small admin group would have. PDF encryption level, 0 through 3, nothing to the highest. I would put this at the highest encryption level available unless you have a specific business reason for lesser encryption. Several of the options below depend on the encryption level. Encryption level 0 enables the PDF no printing and PDF no changing the document properties. These are true or false options. However, these two options only work when encryption level is set to 0. If the encryption level is set higher than 0, then you want to use these other properties, PDF changes allowed and PDF printing allowed. PDF printing allowed options are 0 through 2, where 0 prohibits printing and 2 allows full resolution printing. The last property I'll cover is the PDF enable copying. The other properties add security to accessibility options, which we won't cover here. PDF enable copying stops the user from copying the content of the PDF to the clipboard so they can paste it anywhere else. So let's turn on a few of these options. PDF security is still equal true, so turning on security. PDF open password is already set to test. Set the PDF permissions password to happy so the opening user can't change document security options. Set PDF encryption level to 3 to 256-bit encryption. Set PDF no printing equal true, even though this only works for encryption level 0. Same for PDF no changing the document, which again only works for encryption level 0. These next three are all security on the accessibility controls. Set PDF enable copying to false. Do not let someone copy and paste the information from this document. Set PDF changes allowed to 0, blocking any changes of the document. And set PDF printing allowed to 0, blocking printing of this report. Save, and let's go back and rerun the report. The report immediately throws up the password dialog box. Let's try the wrong password. Sad. Not the right password, so it blocks access. Try again with the correct password, test, and the report opens. We see the security message at the top of the report. This file has limited permissions. You may not have access to some features. Let's see if we can copy the information to the clipboard. Highlight a block and right-click. No copy option. I'll just block it and hit Control-C to copy the highlighted text. Open Notepad and paste. And we get nothing. PDF security blocked us from copying the report contents. Also notice up here that the printer icon is disabled. Hover and we see the message, no printing permission. So we can't print it. Let's see if we can get around all those security measures by saving the report to the local machine and opening it there. Double-click the report file to open and we immediately get the password dialog box. Type in the password test and the report opens up. The printer control here is also disabled. Highlight a block of text and right-click to copy the data and we see that the copy option is disabled on the list. Try to copy the text by just highlighting a block and hitting Control-C. Back to Notepad and nothing pastes from the buffer. Now, as you may be thinking, setting the same password for everyone is no password security at all. So how do we set a unique password for each user generating the report? We can set a unique password at report generation using PeopleCode and the delivered BI Publisher app packages. The same report defin class that sets the data source and generates report also allows us to generate any of the security options. So let's go see how that works. Let's go back to the report definition and set the PDF open password to some random string of gibberish that no one will ever guess, not even us. This protects against someone accidentally not setting a user password. At this point, no one can open the report because no one knows the password. To set the password at runtime, I'm going to use the set runtime properties method of the report defin class. We can see from PeopleBooks that it takes 2 arrays as arguments, a property name array and a property value array. This way we can set one or more properties with one method call. It's important to note that this method only overrides the specific properties you specify in the array. All other report definition properties are not changed from what is set up in the report definition page. You may be wondering where we can find a list of properties to override with this method. The property names are in the same as the report definition properties page. The valid values for the properties are what we see in here, the drop-down boxes. Here's the app class I used on the demo page to generate the report with the PeopleCode when the print button is clicked. I've imported the PSXP Report Defin Manager app package and all its classes to generate the BI Publisher report. I've also set my report defin object and BI Pub report as an instance variable where I can reference from anywhere in the class. I've already stubbed out the set PDF doc password method to set our password. Let's take a look at that method. You can see it's currently a blank method. So how do we override these security properties and set the password? First, we know that we need 2 arrays of strings, one for the property names and another array for the property values. Next, we populate the arrays by pushing values in each. First, a property name array. we need the correct property name, so I'm going back to my BI Pub Report Definition Properties page to copy the PDF Open Password property name. Returning to our PeopleCode, paste that into my statement. Next, I need the property value. Use the property value array, push, and I'm going to set the password to be the employee ID in the report. Finally, use the BI Pub Report Objects Set Runtime Properties method. The first parameter is the names array, and the second parameter is the properties array. Save, and I see my syntax was validated. Before we're done, I need to execute this method after I create the BI Pub Report object and before I generate the report. Switch to our component record field change PeopleCode event, and I'll add it here after the create. Coming back to our page, we need to refresh the component since we did have a component PeopleCode change. Select employee KU0004, print the report, the password dialog box opens. I'll try the previous test password. I see that didn't work. Now try the employee ID of KU0004, and here's our report. So now we can protect our PeopleSoft BI Publisher PDF reports with passwords and other security measures. What reports do you have that really should be secured at the document level? Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you next time here on PeopleTools Tech Tips. Hey, color correction dude, you came with references and that's horrible. What happened? My mommy says my artwork is beautiful. She hangs it on our refrigerators. Your mom? You're fired. Franny face.